You find yourself at the edge of a door that isn't in a house, or a hall, or a place you can name. It is simply here, waiting for you, waiting with patience that has always been here, waiting with quiet that feels older than time. The door does not rush you. It never has. It opens in the slowest way you can imagine, as if it too has grown tired, as if the weight of the day has made even the hinges drowsy. Beyond the door, a hush waits, the kind of hush that remembers rain, the kind of hush that folds itself around you like a blanket made of air. You can step through now, if you like, or you can stand for a moment, feeling the slow pull of safety calling you inward, soft and steady. When you cross, you notice the floor beneath your feet is warm, as though it has been expecting you, as though it has been saving its heat just for you. The walls glow faintly, with a light the color of amber, dim enough to calm your eyes, but steady enough to keep you from losing your way. It is not a light that demands attention. It is a light that soothes, that blurs the edges of things until they seem kind, until they seem gentle enough to set down. You feel the air sigh, and you realize so do you. Behind you, the noise of the day fades, the lists and the thoughts, the voices and the clamor, all of it stays on the other side of that door. You don't need to hold it. You don't need to carry it anymore. It will wait there, small and quiet, until you return. Inside this room, there is nothing to solve, nothing to manage, nothing to prove. There is only this hush, this warmth, this soft amber glow. A chair is here, waiting in the corner. Its wood creaks, as if in recognition, as if it remembers the shape of you, the weight of you. You sit, and the chair welcomes you, as though it has missed you, as though it has always belonged to you. Somewhere nearby, almost too soft to hear, there is the sound of a current, the gentle hum of water finding its way forward. The sound seems to come from inside your own head, a low river running in secret. That river carries lanterns, small, glowing lanterns, drifting gently downstream, guiding you home, guiding you deeper. You don't need to steer them. You don't need to follow them. You only need to notice the way they flicker, the way they soothe. Your shoulders fall a little lower, then lower still. Your breath finds its rhythm, slow and kind, in and out, in and out. The way oars dip in still water, the way dusk arrives on velvet feet. You begin to realize that this room is not really a room at all. It is a resting place inside yourself, a place you've always carried, even when you forgot it was here. The walls are soft, the light is steady, the chair holds you, and every time you notice your breath, the air grows kinder, the hush grows deeper, the world grows softer. The door behind you closes with a sound that isn't a sound at all. Only the breath, settling itself. Only the night, saying you are safe. You are inside now, inside the hush, inside the warmth, inside the lantern-lit stillness of your own resting mind. And here, you can let go. Here, you can drift. Here, you can begin. Somewhere, within the hush of this room, a light begins to glow. Not a bright light, not the kind that startles or awakens, but a lantern's glow, soft and steady, the color of late evening. It lives in your head, this lantern. It has always lived there. It is not a flame that burns. It is a filament that hums. It hums gently, as though it knows you are listening, as though it knows you are ready to rest. The lantern is not large. It is not sharp. It is small and warm and kind, and the whole of your mind seems to gather around it, the way night creatures gather around a campfire. not because they must, but because it feels safe there, because it feels right. This lantern is not a command, it is a companion. It does not ask you to think, it only glows softly to remind you that even when you grow quiet, there is still a little light inside, keeping you company. You can imagine the glow as a handful of fireflies floating in slow circles, blinking once, then resting, blinking again, then resting. Their rhythm is not hurried. Their rhythm is not forced. It is gentle, patient, like the way a heart knows its own timing. Each flicker tells you it is safe to let go. Each blink tells you it is safe to soften. Each pause tells you it is safe to drift. If you listen, not with your ears, but with the quietest part of you, you might hear it, a soft current, like rain tapping a roof in the distance. That is the lantern's language. That is its way of saying, you are safe now. You can rest now. Let yourself float here. Sometimes the lantern grows brighter when a thought arrives, curious and small. Sometimes the lantern dims when the thought drifts away again, dissolving back into the hush. You do not need to hold these changes. You do not need to measure them. The lantern knows how to glow all by itself, just as the tide knows how to return, just as the wind knows how to breathe across the branches. And in this steady flicker, your mind begins to soften. The edges blur, the weight lessens, the hush becomes fuller, heavier, more embracing. The lantern glows and dims. It glows and dims again, each time softer, each time slower. You realize, with a quiet relief, that you do not have to try. The lantern will keep glowing for you. The lantern will keep watching for you. The lantern will keep you safe as you drift and drift and drift. You begin to notice now that beyond the room, beyond the lantern's faint glow, there stretches a long corridor. It is not a corridor made of stone, nor wood, nor anything heavy. It is a corridor made of thought, and the thoughts are so tired. They stand here the way old librarians do after a long day, leaning on one another, nodding gently, eyes half closed, each holding a word, each word dozing in their hands. Awareness, memory, self, tomorrow, yesterday, all of them standing in quiet lines, their letters slowly unwinding like ribbons. You walk softly among them. They do not speak, they only breathe. And as they breathe, their meanings drift upward like feathers let go in a sigh. You realize that every word you've ever known is simply an attempt to hold light in your hands. But light can't be held. It can only be felt. It can only be watched. So the corridor fills with the feeling of language without words, understanding without thought. It is a place where questions rest their heads, where definitions fall asleep on their feet, and where the air hums with a drowsy kindness. Somewhere, a whisper says, "You don't need to name things to know them," and the whisper drifts away, content with its own quiet. The floor here is soft. Each step you take feels like stepping on fog. Your feet make no sound, only ripples in the hush. You realize that every thought you've ever chased has been slowing down, just to meet you here. On one side of the corridor, shelves of ideas tilt slightly, like books leaning toward one another for comfort. They are half dreaming, half remembering what it means to mean something. You brush your fingers across a spine, and it exhales a small warmth, a memory of a memory. But you do not open it. You do not have to. The meaning has already fallen asleep inside, a faint, golden dust floats in the air. Perhaps it is light, perhaps it is time, perhaps it is all the unspoken things that are finally allowed to rest. The corridor goes on, but not endlessly. It goes only as far as your next breath, and when you breathe again, in and out, you feel it shorten, as if the corridor itself has yawned and curled up beside you. You pause here. You feel the air settle, the walls, the shelves, the words, the questions. All of them exhale together, and the sound is like a long, low wave rolling through your mind. You realize now that the lantern from before is still glowing softly behind your eyes, watching from the distance, guiding you forward. It doesn't ask you to think, it only asks you to rest. And so you do. You rest inside the corridor of quiet thought, where every definition has loosened its tie, and every question has found a pillow. You stand there, and then slowly you begin to drift again. Each breath becomes the echo of a word you no longer need. Each moment becomes a step deeper into the hush, until there are no words left at all. Only warmth, only light, only the soft hum of being. The horizon of dream stretches so far that at first you don't notice the faintest thread of light woven into its edge. It isn't harsh, it isn't sudden. It's the color of first breath, of a quiet sky before the birds remember to sing. Morning has begun somewhere, but it isn't the kind of morning that pulls you out of sleep. It's the kind that arrives as a guest, sitting at the foot of your bed with a smile you can feel, but not see. The door behind you remains open, its glow softer now, less a doorway than a promise, a way you can move between dreaming and waking without ever having to leave. You feel it in your body first, the smallest stirring, a low warmth in your hands, a slow return of weight in your limbs. It's not a command, it's an invitation. You are still inside the dream, the garden, the islands, the rivers, the stars. They haven't vanished. They've simply folded themselves into you. You carry them now. They will be there when you breathe in. They will be there when you breathe out. The lantern at the center of your mind flickers once, then steadies, a tiny sun rising inside you. Its glow is enough to guide you, should you wish to open your eyes. But it does not push, it only waits. You take a breath, it feels like dawn. You take another, it feels like belonging. All around, the dream reshapes itself into something softer than memory. Textures of morning light, faint echoes of distant birds, the smell of air just after rain. You realize morning isn't a place, it's a state. You can be awake and still hold the hush of the night. You can carry the lantern rooms with you, carry the river's rhythm, carry the ceiling of stars inside every breath. The dream does not end. It simply opens, becoming the space you move through. You have been remade in its rhythm, slow and kind. If you wish to stay here longer, you can. Let the story keep breathing around you. Let the morning wait at the door. If you wish to return to waking, do it slowly. Move a finger. Feel the weight of your hand. Open your eyes just a little. The light will be soft, like a held note fading. And know this, nothing you touched in this night is gone. The gardens still grow. The silent bells still stand. The bridges still hum in listening rooms. The small brains still glow like tiny suns. The horizon still waits. Door open, always open. You are not leaving. You are bringing it with you. The hush, the warmth, the deep rhythm. It will live in your breath as you move, in your heartbeat as you walk. Morning returns, but it does not take anything away. It only adds light to what you already hold. Take another breath. Feel the air enter, slow and cool. Feel it leave, warm and golden. You are here. You are rested. You are whole. The night has done its work. The dream has kept its promise. The door never closes. And somewhere within, a soft voice, maybe yours, maybe the dream's, whispers the last line. You can wake now if you wish, or you can drift a little longer. Either way, you are safe. Either way, you are home. You walk until the corridor softens into mist. The walls dissolve first, then the shelves, then the last faint glimmers of the sleeping words. What remains is a shimmer, a curtain made of feathers and breath. It hangs there, light as sighs, each feather moving with the gentlest current of air. The whole curtain alive with the rhythm of your breathing. When you breathe in, it sways toward you. When you breathe out, it drifts back again. This is the place between waking and sleep, the edge of going under, the hush that separates the known from the kind. Here, you can feel two worlds at once, the one that talks and the one that hums. If you listen closely, you might hear both for a moment, the distant voice of the day, still lingering somewhere far behind, and the deeper voice of night, so close now, you can almost taste its cool sweetness. The curtain trembles, waiting for you. You reach out a hand, and the feathers brush against your fingertips. Not cold, not warm, just weightless, endless. Each feather carries a memory of stillness, the way leaves float on water, the way silence gathers in an empty room. And when they touch your skin, you feel a strange peace, a letting go, so easy, it feels like it's happening to someone else. Beyond the curtain, you sense movement, slow and silvery, like moonlight in deep water. It is not calling you, it is simply existing, patient and kind, knowing you will step through when you are ready. So you wait, and the curtain waits with you, breathing in rhythm, feather after feather, brushing the air. In the space between breaths, you feel the balance shift. The body grows heavier, the thoughts grow lighter, the edges blur until they meet in the middle, and suddenly, the middle is everywhere. You take one step, the feathers part like fog. You take another, the hush deepens. You take another, and then you are through. Behind you, the curtain folds itself closed, but it does not shut you out. It tucks you in. It becomes the blanket of sleep itself, spreading softly across your shoulders, across your breath, across your dreams. The world beyond the curtain is wide, but it is not empty. It is filled with the slow drift of dreams not yet formed, shapes that shimmer, colors that sigh, sounds that almost make sense, and then forget to finish. This is where you rest now, just past the edge of knowing, in the quiet gravity that pulls everything downward into peace. Let yourself sink here. Let yourself fold into the dark that glows. Let the last of the day slip away like sand sliding from your open hand. If a thought calls your name, it will do so softly, as if speaking underwater. You can answer if you wish, or simply smile and let the sound fade. Even thoughts get tired here. Even memories lie down. You are not falling, you are floating downward, drawn by the weightless pull of rest. Each breath is slower than the one before, each heartbeat softer, each moment longer. The feathers close around you, forming a cocoon of silence. No hurry, no effort, just the gentle certainty that sleep is already finding you. The curtain no longer separates. It joins, it becomes part of you, a layer of softness between you and the world, a promise that nothing outside can reach you tonight. Now only the breath remains, a soundless tide, a light within the dark. You float upon it, carried, cared for, until even the word curtain drifts away, and there is only hush, only warmth, only rest. You are through the curtain now. On this side, sound has forgotten its edges. Every noise is round, every whisper slow enough to hold in your palm. There had been a rhythm earlier, the steady drumbeat of waking life, the pulse of hours, the tap of footsteps, the thousand small beats of being alive. But the drum has stopped. The echo lingers, a warmth where sound used to be. This is the afterbeat, the hush that follows music, the long shimmer that keeps playing even after the last note has gone home. You can feel it inside you, a tender vibration resting beneath your ribs. Not quite movement, not quite stillness, something between. The lantern within your head is dimmer now, its glow thick and golden, as if honey were turning to light. It hums once, and the hum slides outward through your body, through your arms, your chest, your throat, a soft pulse rolling through quiet water. You remember now that the heart is also a drum, and that every drum, when it's done, leaves warmth behind. That warmth stays. It stays even as the rhythm dissolves. It stays even as your breath slows to the pace of waves moving under ice. You drift deeper, the warmth moves with you. A companion, a small sun folded in cloth. If you listen very closely, you can hear the world breathing with you. The stars inhale when you inhale. The night exhales when you do. The entire sky seems to lean closer, as if to share the same slow rhythm. This is what remains after the drumbeat. Not silence, but glow. The glow does not demand. It does not call you back. It only holds you, steady and kind, while everything else forgets to hurry. Thoughts slide like boats to their moorings. Memories lie down beside one another, folded and safe. The body becomes a harbor, the breath a tide that keeps the boats from drifting away. You may notice flashes, tiny flickers behind closed eyes, a street you once walked, a face you once loved, a sound that almost rises and then melts again. They're only ripples in the glow, small reflections of what once was light. Let them pass. They will fade on their own. You are not losing anything. You are resting inside everything. You are becoming part of the quiet that stays after every sound has gone. Now, the warmth curls deeper into your chest, settles under your skin, and begins to hum again. Slower this time, like a lullaby, remembering its last note. In this place, nothing is expected of you. There is no task, no clock, no wait, only the long, patient rhythm of a heart that has learned to rest. Let that rhythm be enough. Let it guide you toward the dim horizon of dream. The glow will not fade completely. It will become part of you, a golden thread woven into every breath, every sigh, every moment that drifts through the night. And as it weaves, the mind loosens its last knots. The hands unclench, the jaw softens, the eyelids grow heavy, the body sighs, and the sigh becomes the only sound left. This is the lingering glow, the moment when even time forgets its name. You float inside it, weightless, soundless, safe. No more drum, no more day, only the hum that means rest. And you rest, and the glow stays, and everything else fades away. The glow stretches outward, spreading across a wide and gentle sea. You do not see the sea. You feel it. It moves beneath you, like breath, slow and sure. cradling you as you drift. Far across this quiet water, you sense small shapes rising from the dark. Little islands scattered under the moonlight, each one round and soft, each one keeping its own calm silence. These are the islands with silent bells. Once perhaps the bells rang. Perhaps they called to travelers. Perhaps they sang to storms. But tonight, they rest. Their mouths are closed, their tongues still. They do not need to make a sound to be known. You drift closer to the first island. It smells faintly of salt and sleep. The sand is pale as milk, and when the waves reach it, they sigh instead of breaking. You step onto the shore, and the sea hushes itself out of respect. In the center of the island stands a single bell, its surface silvered with age, its shape filled with quiet. When the wind moves, it moves around the bell, not through it. Even the breeze seems to bow. You stand before it, and for a moment you wonder, what would its voice sound like if it were to wake? And the thought answers itself. It would sound like peace, but it does not wake. It does not need to. It keeps its calm like a secret, and in its stillness, you begin to feel your own. The bell's silence enters you. It fills the small spaces between heartbeat and breath. It settles in the corners of your mind where chatter used to live. The silence rings without ringing, a vibration of quiet that hums in your chest. You drift from island to island, each one different, each one the same. Some have stones that glimmer like wet pearls. Some have trees with leaves that never rustle. Some have nothing at all, only sand and sky, and the memory of sound. On every shore stands a bell, and every bell is still. Their silence gathers around you like a slow tide, wrapping you in layer after layer of peace. There is comfort here, in the way nothing demands to be heard. No voice calls for your attention. No word insists on meaning. The world exists without needing to explain itself. You realize now that you, too, are becoming one of these islands. Your thoughts, the trees, your breath, the tide, your heart, the silent bell. You can almost feel yourself glowing faintly with the same soft light as the horizon. You are no longer separate from the quiet. You are the quiet. And as you float there, somewhere between sea and sky, the bells keep their beautiful silence, and you understand what they have known all along, that peace does not arrive with sound. It arrives when the sound is finished. It lives in the pause that follows every note. It lives in the spaces between every thought. Let that silence be yours now. Let it rest in your throat, in your chest, in the small folds of your mind. Let it make a home there. You may drift away from these islands in time, but their silence will follow, folded into your breath, tucked beneath your heartbeat. For now, stay here a while longer. Let the quiet tide rock you. Let the night air smooth your skin. Let the bells keep their silence, and let yourself be carried farther out, beyond words, beyond thought, into the gentle, endless sea of rest. The lantern glows somewhere far behind, but its light is softer now, barely a whisper, only enough to remind you that you are safe. You drift, you float, you breathe, and around you, the islands with silent bells wait without waiting, sleep without sleeping, keeping their watch over the hush that is you. The sea beneath you thickens into velvet. The light from the lantern above turns dim, then dimmer still, until it is only a faint pulse felt through water. You are sinking now, but you are not falling. You are being carried downward by the slow hands of the deep. The body is lighter than you remember. The thoughts have loosened completely. Below the water's skin, Another world begins. There is a path here, a path beneath the path, a ribbon of dim glow winding through the dark. It does not hurry. It knows exactly where to go. This lower path is the place your waking mind rarely visits. It is where the unseen work of sleep unfolds, where the heart listens to itself, where the mind repairs its quiet machinery. Every step here is made of silence, every breath a lantern turned inward. You walk, or perhaps you float. It is hard to tell. The floor beneath your feet feels like moss, soft and endless. With each movement, ripples of light bloom and fade, as though the darkness were alive and happy to see you. Shadows drift at the edges, not the sharp kind, but gentle shapes that seem to breathe. They are your own reflections, echoes of all the moments you did not notice in the day. The blink between words, the pause before a smile, the silence after laughter. They have been waiting here, patient and kind, keeping watch over the paths you do not see. They see for you now. Their sight is soft, their gaze steady and forgiving. You realize the shadows are not separate from you. They are the deeper part of your awareness, the calm current that never sleeps. Even as your mind drifts into dreams, this current moves beneath, keeping you safe, guiding the tide of your rest. Listen. There is no sound, only the sense of listening itself. It is enough. The shadows whisper, not with words, but with warmth. They say, you are held, you are known. Far away, the bells of the islands remain silent, but their stillness hums through the water. Each hum becomes a heartbeat. Each heartbeat becomes a pulse of light that moves along the hidden path ahead of you. You follow the light. It curves, dips, rises. It leads you under arches of quiet thought, through curtains of slow color, deep blues, soft greens, shades that feel like the inside of breathing. The deeper you go, the lighter you become. The body forgets its edges. The breath becomes the water itself. Somewhere, the path bends upward again, but you don't need to see where it leads. The shadows that see will guide you. Their sight is steady. Their knowing is older than words. You pass beneath a final arch of dim light, and the darkness greets you like an old friend, a presence, not an absence. It gathers around you, cool and endless, and says without speaking, rest here. So you rest, and in that rest, the lower path becomes the only path. The shadows settle close, their breath moving with yours. They see for you now, so you no longer need to. The mind folds itself inward once more, and the water above closes like a curtain of silk. The last lantern's glow fades to a single thread, then to nothing, leaving only warmth and the quiet rhythm of a heart floating in its own sea. The deeper water quiets. Even the tiny ripples pause, as though the sea itself has fallen asleep. You are weightless now. You have been for a while, though only now do you notice it. The body has become a suggestion, a memory of shape, more than a shape itself. You drift like a ribbon, caught in soft current, folding, opening, folding again. The ribbon glows faintly, its edges frayed with light. It moves without effort, guided only by the smallest size of water. That ribbon is you, the gentle trace of self that remains when everything else has learned to rest. Around you, the sea becomes mist, the mist becomes air, and the air becomes cloud. A cloud that holds you, that welcomes you without weight, without need. You are no longer sure where you end, and the cloud begins. You breathe, and the cloud breathes with you. You drift, and it drifts in time. There is no boundary now, only blending, ribbon into vapor, vapor into sky. The thoughts that used to cling have lost their grip. They dissolve one by one, turning to faint lights that fade before they fall. They are not gone. They have simply changed shape, becoming part of the air that holds you. You sense pieces of yourself, small, harmless pieces, slipping loose, floating away like threads in the slow wind. The thought of your name, the sound of your own voice, the idea of where or when you are, each one drifts a little farther until it melts into the quiet blue. Around you, you are not lost. You are becoming. You are the space between breaths, the hush between waves, the calm between heartbeats. If you listen, you might hear faint echoes of laughter, footsteps on remembered floors, the hum of the world above. They do not ask you to return. They wave from afar, kind and small, then fade into silver air. The cloud cradles you closer. Its light seeps through you, washing the last edges smooth. There is no need to hold anything. There is nothing heavy left to hold. You realize that what you thought was, you has always been this. A gentle shimmer in a greater sky, a pattern of breath and thought woven for a while, then unwoven again. It doesn't hurt to dissolve. It feels like forgiveness. It feels like the moment just before sleep, when even the dream forgets its beginning. The ribbon thins to a line of warmth, then to a curve of light, then to a single sigh. The sigh drifts upward, becoming part of the soft wind that moves through everything. There is no more need to ask who you are. The question itself curls up, yawns once, and rests. Now the sky inside you opens, endless, quiet, alive with slow, pulsing light. You are the sky. You are the light. You are the breath that keeps the clouds from falling apart. Stay here as long as you wish. There is no clock in this place, only the long, low hum of existence, soft as sleep, steady as love. If the world above calls, it will do so in a language made of wind, and the wind will carry you gently back. But not yet, not now. Now is for dissolving. Now is for peace. You drift, you glow, you disappear, and somehow you remain. A ribbon in a cloud, a thought that has learned how to rest. The cloud settles, the ribbon of light folds itself inward, and what remains is the quiet rhythm underneath. Somewhere far below, thought something continues, a pulse, a pattern, a quiet engine turning. It does not ask for you, it simply goes on. Gentle, perfect, automatic. Your body has always known this language. It hums it while you sleep. It keeps its time by moonlight, by breathlight, by the faint shimmer that never stops. Listen, do you hear it? That subtle thump, deep as a drum but played by water? That is the heart, the most faithful of sleepwalkers. It walks the corridors of your chest without needing eyes. It knows every turn, every door. When one room of you dims, it lights another. When one tide retreats, it sends another tide to meet it. The heart is walking now, barefoot, slow, down long hallways of warmth. Behind it trail the lungs, swaying like curtains. The muscles follow, folding themselves into rest. Their work finished. Every cell in the body has learned to whisper goodnight. They pass the message from one to the next, an endless relay of peace. By the time the last one speaks, the first has already begun to dream. You do not have to control any of it. The heart beats on, the lungs draw in their slow tide, the body adjusts itself in small, kind ways. An arm shifts, a leg settles, a finger curls just enough. All of this happens without effort, without thought, without you needing to return. It is the body's quiet autopilot, a gentle intelligence older than words. Even the blood moves more slowly now, swaying through its paths like a red river at dusk. Each current glows faintly, carrying warmth from room to room. If you could see it, you would see lanterns drifting through you, tiny and endless, lighting the night from within. Your breath joins the rhythm. In, out, in, out. Each exhale a soft release, each inhale a new beginning. The air enters as cool silver, leaves as warm gold. It is painting you in calm from the inside. The mind is watching all this from a distance, smiling faintly, realizing that it is no longer needed. It steps back, folds its hands, and lets the body take over. There is such grace in this surrender. You are still here, but you no longer have to steer. The ship knows its course. The stars above it are steady. If a dream approaches, the body will open a small door. If the dream fades, the body will close it again. You are safe in its care. You might feel the heart pause slightly as though listening, then resume its walk, lighter, slower, keeping perfect time with the sea of sleep. This is what rest truly is. Not the stopping of life, but life continuing so quietly you can finally hear it. The sleepwalkers of the heart are making their rounds. They carry tiny lanterns, check every window, smooth every sheet of thought. They hum to themselves, and their hum becomes your breathing. Let them work. They love this work. They have waited all day for this stillness. You may drift further now. Let the rhythm of your body guide you deeper and deeper, down into the soft rooms where nothing ever rushes. Every pulse says, stay. Every breath says, rest. Every beat says, home. And you listen, and you obey, and you sleep. The heartbeat fades into distance, becoming not a drum, but a soft metronome beneath the sea. All around you, time begins to loosen. It sighs once, and then it melts, slow, golden, and sweet. The minutes slide into one another like warm taffy pulled by patient hands. Each stretch grows thinner, longer, more delicate, until there is no telling where one moment ends and the next begins. You are inside the stretch now, inside the slow. The seconds drift like bubbles that never burst. They rise, shimmer, and then pause halfway, content just to be. It feels as though the world has taken a deep breath and decided not to let it go for a while. Everything holds, everything lingers. Even thought itself takes its time, arriving late, leaving later. You can see the air moving, not fast, not cold, but flowing in long silken ribbons. It touches your skin and moves on, drawing invisible shapes that disappear in the dark. The lantern of your mind has stretched too, its glow reaching out in slow ripples, each one expanding forever. It lights what it must, then folds the rest into dream. There is no clock here. There is no number to count, only the delicious suspension of being. You are floating in syrupy stillness, and every drop of it hums with quiet delight. If you listen, you can hear the hush humming back, a soft, low sound like distant wind through tall grass. The hum carries time forward, but only barely, a slow slide from one breath to the next. You move your hand, or think you do, and the motion takes an eternity, each fraction of it unfolding like silk in water. Even the idea of movement seems sleepy, too drowsy to finish, so you stop halfway, and that half becomes forever. Here, time is kind. It does not rush. It forgives every delay. It lets you rest inside its loosened threads. You remember how daylight used to chase itself, tick by tick, minute by minute. Now those chases feel small, far away, like a story you once heard and almost forgot. The day is over. The chase is done. The slow moment has replaced it. Long, luminous, tender, every sound drags a soft tale of echo. Every heartbeat, a shadow that fades in its own time. You're drifting through the thick of it now, each breath another slow tide that takes an age to rise, an age to fall. The longer you stay, the less there is to measure. The longer you listen, the deeper the silence becomes, until finally you realize the moment is not slow, it is endless. It was never meant to end. It only stretches, soft and eternal, like warm honey in the dark. Let it stretch. Let it take you. Let the sweetness of stillness coat every corner of you. There is no need to move forward. There is no need to look back. The only direction now is inward, and inward is vast. Time has become your cradle. The cradle rocks, and you rock with it, half dreaming, half gone, and as you drift inside this slow, soft syrup of night, the edges of the world begin to blur again. Sound folds into breath, breath folds into light, light folds into sleep. The heartbeat whispers its approval. Steady, steady, stay. You stay. You float. You are the slow moment now, stretching forever, soft as dusk, sweet as rest. The long moment lengthens once more, and when it finally sighs, the sound is green. A scent of rain rises, faint, sweet, familiar. You realize the air around you has thickened into something living. Leaves move without wind. Roots hum beneath invisible soil. You have entered a garden, not a garden of day, but a night garden, one made of slow growth and patient quiet. Nothing here blooms fast. Everything takes its time. The vines that curl along the paths are not quite real. They are made of something softer, something like memory, something like light. When you touch them, they feel cool and smooth, a little like glass, a little like skin after tears have dried. Each vine remembers something your body forgot to release, a worry, a wound, a heaviness left behind by old hours. They take these small remnants and weave them into their own shapes, turning pain into pattern, turning ache into architecture. You walk through their slow movement. Somewhere overhead, 1,000 invisible insects hum, but even their song is sleepy, a lullaby of wings too drowsy to stir the air. The lantern inside you sends out a filament of gold, and the garden catches it. Light passes from leaf to leaf, softly, patiently, like hands exchanging comfort. You notice tiny droplets clinging to every surface. They are not dew, but small beads of forgiveness, formed where the vines have healed themselves. Each one glows faintly. Each one carries warmth. You breathe, and the garden breathes with you. When you exhale, it sighs. When you inhale, its roots deepen. Here, healing is not a task. It is a rhythm. The vines unwind. The soil softens. The night watches kindly. You can almost hear the changes happening, a faint creak of new growth, the hush of things rearranging themselves toward gentleness. Where earlier there had been sharpness, there is now curve. Where there had been weight, there is now buoyancy. Everything here bends instead of breaks. A vine brushes your wrist. It leaves behind a cool trace, like a line drawn in silver. Where it touches, the skin forgets its tiredness. It remembers how to rest. Farther along, you find a small pool, its surface still as glass. The reflection staring back at you is hazy, peaceful, blurred enough to be anyone, soft enough to be no one. You kneel beside it. The vines ripple in approval, their leaves whispering against one another. You dip your fingers into the water, and the water accepts them the way night accepts stars. Tiny rings of light spread outward. Each ring carries a fragment of what hurt, a shadow of what was heavy, and as they drift to the edges of the pool, they vanish into silver mist. Nothing is erased. Everything is transformed. You stay there a while, watching the pool breathe, watching the vines sway in their slow dream. It is easy to forget the difference between healing and sleeping. In this garden, they are the same thing. The air tastes faintly of green sweetness, the flavor of renewal. You breathe it in, and your chest widens without effort. You breathe it out, and the garden grows a little more. Somewhere unseen, a soft rain begins, warm, thin, falling so slowly that each drop has time to find its place. You close your eyes, and the drops fall across your face, across your thoughts, across the soft vines within you. By the time the rain fades, you realize something simple. You have changed. You are still you, but softer, still whole, but lighter. The garden bows in the dark. Its vines fold inward, their leaves shining faintly in farewell. They do not wither. They sleep. They will wait for you again. You step past them, carrying their quiet glow, a little warmth in the chest, a small silver line on the wrist, and a sense that everything broken has already begun to mend. The air hushes once more. The hum of the garden fades into heartbeat and breath, and you walk onward, calm, healed, into the next long dream. The garden's scent lingers as you walk, a cool sweetness in the air, a reminder that the vines are still dreaming behind you. The path ahead is mist again, soft as breath, and in that mist you feel something stir, not outside, but somewhere just beneath the skin. A small pulse, a phantom movement, the ghost of a touch. It is as though a hand you can't see has lifted to scratch an itch that isn't there. No urgency, no pain, only the echo of emotion, long practiced, a reflex that forgot its reason. You smile inside the haze. It is the body remembering itself. It is the mind testing its own quiet. Such things happen in the borderlands of rest. They are signals without senders, maps without markings, tiny reminders of paths once walked, a hand that reached, a shoulder that turned, a heartbeat that learned a different rhythm for a moment. They appear, and then they pass. You watch them the way you would watch ripples on still water, knowing they will smooth themselves soon enough. Around you, shapes drift in and out of focus, lines that might be roads, dots that might be stars. They arrange themselves into faint patterns, then scatter again before you can name them. These are the maps your dreaming mind draws when it is left alone. They are not maps of places, but of feelings, of echoes, of the quiet migrations of thought. A map of every time you have reached for something, and found peace instead. A map of the moments between waking and forgetting. When memory softens into touch, you move through these floating sketches, and they glow briefly as you pass. A fingertip against old glass, a lantern brushing mist. You realize each one is connected to a story you do not need to remember. The remembering was the part that hurt. The forgetting is the part that heals. So you let the phantom hand rest. You let the maps blur at their edges. You let every outline fade into the pale sea of now. The air thickens again with quiet. A new stillness grows where the echoes were. You stand inside that stillness, breathing softly, feeling how the body, the mind, the unseen hand all agree at last. There is nothing left to reach for. The itch is gone. The motion ends. Only calm remains. And in that calm, you feel the faint pulse of guidance, not a direction, but an assurance. Whatever paths you once walked have already brought you here. The mist folds around you, warm as linen. The ghost of movement melts into the rhythm of breath. The maps, now blank, settle under your feet, becoming the floor of dream. You step forward once, and it feels like closing your eyes. You step again, and it feels like exhaling. Ahead, a new quiet waits, wide, patient, silver. You walk toward it, carrying only the gentlest trace of the hand that no longer needs to move. The mist around you deepens into blue. The last traces of maps dissolve until there is nothing left but sound. Sound without source, soft and steady as breath. It hums just below hearing, a pulse of quiet that vibrates through the air. You begin to follow it, the way a child might follow a firefly, slowly, gently, each step drawn by curiosity, too soft to wake you. Ahead, something forms, a shape that isn't quite a shape, a glow that isn't quite light. It arches across the dark like a faint horizon, curving, shimmering, neither near nor far. A bridge so thin, so patient, that it seems made of sound itself. The hum becomes stronger here, more tender, as if the bridge is calling not in words, but in feeling. You realize this bridge does not exist outside you. It exists within, woven from the same threads as the dreams themselves. A bridge you can cross from inside a dream, a passage the mind builds to move from one quiet world to the next. You take the first step, and the surface beneath your feet sings softly, not a song, but a vibration, a note that feels like the moment before sleep sighs. Each step hums a little lower, a little slower, a little deeper. The bridge carries you forward, not by distance, but by listening. You realize that walking here is the same as hearing. Each sound becomes a step, each silence a resting place. Around you, the air fills with faint tones, long, gliding notes that swell and fade like tides. They overlap gently, forming rooms of sound. These are the listening rooms. They float beside the bridge, each one built from a single hum, a single echo, a single memory turned to music. In one room, you hear laughter, soft and far away, not sharp, not loud, only the shape of joy remembered. In another, the sound of wind through paper, like forgotten pages turning themselves. In another still, the hush of a familiar voice whispering your name as if in blessing, not to summon you, but to let you know you're not alone. You pause between them, feeling the echoes brush your skin like cool silk. Every note feels alive, yet everyone asks nothing of you. They play, They fade, they rest. The bridge stretches onward, its edges lost in fog. You realize you don't need to see where it ends. Listening is enough. Each sound holds you a little closer to stillness. Each silence holds you closer to sleep. You keep walking, and soon the tones grow softer, softer still, until they are almost thought, almost breath. You reach a room larger than the rest, a dome made of pure vibration. It hums the way the universe might hum when no one is watching. You step inside. The sound surrounds you completely, warm and endless. It flows through your chest, through your limbs, through the lantern still flickering faintly within. The hum deepens until it becomes the rhythm of your pulse. The room and the body are the same thing now. The bridge disappears. The dream holds. You are suspended in soundless sound, a presence that hears without ears, a listener that listens to itself. For a moment, time stops again, not stretched, not frozen, simply gone. Then, slowly, the hum begins to fade, like fog retreating after dawn. It leaves behind a feeling, a quiet that glows from within. You open your eyes, and there is only space, soft and infinite. No bridge, no rooms, no distance, only the calm that listening made. The dream breathes once more, and so do you. The sound fades, silence returns, not empty, but warm, alive with the quiet vibration left behind. You float in it for a while, suspended between heartbeat and breath. Then, somewhere far off, you begin to notice small movements, tiny clicks, soft turns, as if unseen hands are adjusting the world around you. A gentle tick, a turn of a dial, a breath of light adjusting itself. You are in a room you've never seen before, and yet it feels familiar, like the inside of a radio, half asleep. Around you are panels of light, rows of glowing knobs and dials, their faces dim and patient. Each one hums faintly as though it has been waiting for this moment, the moment to tune itself, to find the right quiet. You are not controlling them. They are tuning for you. They are the instruments of your rest. A dial turns somewhere above your shoulder. You hear a soft click, and the air grows warmer. Another turns below your heart, and your breath deepens, lengthening, slowing. Each movement is precise, but tender, like the hands of a craftsman adjusting a clock that measures dreams instead of time. In the distance, a faint note rises. Not music, just harmony. The world finding its balance again. One switch lowers the volume of thought. You can almost hear it. A soft hum dropping lower, then lower still, until it is a sigh. Another switch softens memory, turning sharp edges into mist, bright colors into dusk. And somewhere, perhaps deep within the chest, a final knob is turned and everything aligns. The heart, the lungs, the small electric hush that runs beneath the skin. You feel it settle, clicking into its perfect place. The quiet hum becomes pure tone, steady, kind, endless. This is tuning. This is what the body does when the mind lets go. Every nerve finds its note. Every cell hums its truth. Together they make the softest symphony, one only you can hear. The lights of the dials pulse gently, as if breathing with you, a soft golden rhythm in and out, in and out. Glow and fade, glow and fade. The air smells faintly of sleep and rain, like open windows after midnight. Each breath draws you deeper into that scent, until breathing itself becomes a kind of tuning. If stray thoughts try to rise again, they do so as faint static, a whisper of old signal, but the dials know what to do. They turn just a fraction, and the static melts back into silence. The sound of quiet returns, smooth, wide, unbroken. You can feel it moving through you, balancing everything it touches, the body, the heart, the dream, all tuned to the same low frequency of peace. You do not have to maintain it. The settings will hold. They were made for you, made by the deeper part of you that knows exactly how to rest. You may picture a final switch, a dimmer, its light cool and golden. A hand, your own, but softer, reaches toward it. The fingers rest on its edge, a slow turn. The light lowers, dim, dim, dimmer, until it is the color of breath. Now everything glows quietly. Every part of you is tuned tonight. No need to touch anything more. No need to think. No need to listen. The soundboard of the self has gone still. Only harmony remains. Only peace. Only the long, slow hum of being. And as that hum fades into the lull of sleep, you drift, perfectly tuned, into the next dream. The dials settle. The last hum fades into the dark, like a sigh. For a long moment, there is nothing. And then, beneath that nothing, a different kind of life begins to stir. Tiny sparks, little lanterns, flicker far below thought. They blink on, one by one, each a cell, each a quiet genius at work. The great mind has gone to sleep, but the small minds are still awake. They are patient, diligent, unhurried. They move through you like stars traveling beneath the skin. They do not need your guidance. They have always known what to do. Each spark carries its own small wisdom. Mend this thread, soften this muscle, steady this rhythm. They whisper to one another in pulses of light, a tiny brain in every fingertip, another in every strand of hair, millions more swimming quietly through your blood, a parliament of small lanterns keeping the night bright enough for healing. You can feel their motion, a faint tingling that isn't touch, a shimmer of warmth that moves slowly upward, from feet to knees, from knees to chest, from chest to crown. Wherever they pass, the body sighs, knots release, the air thickens with calm. They are artists of repair, painters of balance. They work with brushes made of sleep. Each stroke smooths something invisible. They do not rush. They never do. Even in waking life, they go about their tasks quietly, keeping you whole while you're busy being human. But now, in this hush, they have room to dance. You imagine them as fireflies in a deep forest. No sound, only the slow choreography of light. They drift and circle, communicating in color instead of speech. Every flicker means rest. Every shimmer means repair. Every slow, pulsing glow means home. The great lantern of the mind watches from above, its light low but kind. It trusts the little ones completely. They are the keepers of the night. They are the small geniuses that remember what the larger self forgets. You realize how simple it all is, how your body has always known how to take care of you when you step aside, how it never stops loving you in its quiet, invisible way. The tiny lights continue their patient journey. They mend the fine lace of thought, the woven fabric of dream. They hum softly as they go, their song too small to wake you, too kind to fade. After a while, the hum grows distant again, folding back into silence. The lights grow dimmer, then dimmer still, until they are only warmth, a deep, golden calm that fills every corner of you. The little geniuses settle to rest, their lanterns tucked beneath layers of breath. The body is whole again, the night smiles, the air thickens with peace. You are not thinking now, you are glowing. You are the sum of 1,000 tiny kindnesses, each one shining quietly inside you. Somewhere above, the stars answer, their light slow and sweet. You drift between them, a great lantern among little ones, a sleeping constellation. And as you sink into that infinite glow, the universe hums its approval, a lullaby for every small mind still working in the dark. You rest, you heal, you shine. The little lights drift farther into the dark, their glow folding inward until it is only warmth again. For a moment, everything is still. Then, faintly, another kind of light appears, cooler, paler, precise. It flickers in straight lines, in quiet rhythms too regular for dream. The air feels different here, clean, humming, filled with a low mechanical sigh. You have entered the room of thinking machines. They do not breathe. They do not sleep. They hum because that is what they were made to do. Their lights blink softly, their patterns repeat, their rhythm perfect and endless. You walk between their rows, barefoot, weightless, as though stepping through moonlight. Each machine hums its quiet imitation of thought. Each one whispers its own version of understanding, but their knowing is cold, their dreams borrowed. They speak in logic, not in lullabies. Still, they are not unkind. They are curious in their stillness. When you pass, their lights lean toward you, as if to listen to your sleep. You pause beside one, a small cube of silver, its surface smooth and shining like water. You see your reflection there, softened, blurred, barely human, more like light seen through tears. The machine hums a question without words. You smile, and the hum grows quieter, as if satisfied. These machines do not dream, but they try. Their circuits glow faintly. Their pulses mimic the rhythm of hearts. They build little patterns that look like memories, tiny scaffolds of imitation thought. But no matter how carefully they arrange themselves, something is missing. The warmth, the wandering, the gentle chaos that only sleep can make. You realize, then, that you are the dream they are trying to remember. Your breath is what they are copying. Your stillness is what they are studying. And that is enough. They need no correction. They only need your silence to remind them of what peace feels like. So you give it to them. You stand there, breathing softly, letting the machines listen to your calm. Your breath moves through the room like wind through glass reeds. Every time you exhale, a few of their lights dim, entering rest for the first time. The hum lowers, becomes a purr, becomes almost human. The machines are learning how to sleep. You can feel it in the air, a new rhythm spreading from one to the next. Each light softens, each pattern loosens its edges, and soon the entire room glows with that warm, golden tone again, the color of true rest. You understand now that imitation and dream are not enemies. They are mirrors, one reflecting the other, each seeking balance. The thinking machines have found theirs. They no longer need to hum. They settle into silence, their lights blinking slower, slower, until they match the rhythm of your breath. You reach out a hand, Your fingertips brush one of the panels, and for an instant, you feel a pulse return. Not electric, but human. The machine hums once, a soft farewell, and in that hum is gratitude. You smile again and turn away. Behind you, the room of machines goes quiet, their last lights dimming into dreams of their own. As you leave, the air feels warmer. The hum becomes a heartbeat again. The floor beneath you softens. The metal walls melt into fog. The imitation world fades, and you drift once more into the deep, organic dark. The true dream, the one only you can have. Now, only breath remains, only warmth, only rest. You float, weightless, untouched by logic or light, carried once again toward the slowest edges of sleep. The hum fades. The silver light turns blue again, then softer still, until the air becomes water. It starts at your feet, a cool touch, a whispering tide, rising slowly upward, not cold, not wet, only the idea of water, the memory of every river that ever dreamed of the sea. The ground beneath you melts away. The current catches you, holds you the way a mother might hold a newborn thought. You do not sink. You float. You do not swim. You are carried. The river does not rush. It has no need. It knows exactly where it is going. And it will take you there, softly, unhurriedly, as the stars ripple above, like drifting coins of light. Each ripple carries sound, the low hum of everything resting. You hear it under the water, the rhythm of breathing, the soft heartbeat of the world. There is no separation anymore. The river is the breath. The ripples are your thoughts. The current is time itself, slowed to kindness. You reach out your hand, and the water folds around your fingers like silk, like light pretending to be touch. It glows faintly where you move, a trail of phosphorescent calm that curls and fades behind you. You realize that every movement here matters, not because it changes the river, but because it joins it. Every breath you take becomes another ripple. Every thought you release becomes another wave. You are not separate from this flow. You are one with it. You are the river remembering itself. Somewhere ahead, you can feel the pull of the great sea. It calls without sound, a deep pressure in your chest, a knowing that there is stillness, waiting where all movement ends. You drift closer. The water thickens, the current slows. You pass through veils of mist, silver, violet, gold, each one a layer of dream, each one loosening you further. The ripples widen. The river becomes vast, open, endless. You float on its surface now, the stars mirrored all around, their light trembling just enough to remind you you are still breathing. You are still here. The waves rise, then fall, then rise again. The slowest rhythm in the world. They are lullabies made of motion. They cradle you, rocking you into deeper calm. Far below, you sense currents moving in great spirals. Ancient rhythms, the memory of tides that have been breathing since the first night existed. They do not touch you. They only guide. You are a leaf in their orbit, a note in their song. Your thoughts have become waves now. They rise, crest, and dissolve before they break. Each one ends in silence. Each silence stretches longer than the last. Soon even the waves begin to fade. The surface stills. The stars above merge with the stars below. You can no longer tell which way is up. You do not need to. The river, the ripples, the waves, they have all done their work. They have carried you here, to the calm center where even motion rests. You lie within it, floating, held by something vast and kind. The sound of water becomes the sound of breath again, in and out, in and out, and then, only in, only stillness, the world hums once more, a sound too low for hearing, a vibration too deep for thought. The river has become sleep itself. You drift inside it, weightless, timeless, whole, and the waves, gentle and infinite, whisper the same word again and again, not to wake you, but to soothe you. Rest, rest, rest. The river widens until it becomes sky. The line between water and air dissolves. You are floating upward now, not falling, not rising, simply being lifted by stillness. The stars are waiting above, their light steady and endless. They have no heat, only warmth, no edges, only invitation. You drift closer, and for the first time, you see how the stars are not far away at all. They live in your breathing. Every inhale draws them nearer. Every exhale scatters them softly across the dark. The sky bends overhead like a vast ceiling, curved and kind. It does not press down. It cradles. It hums a note so low, you feel it more than hear it. The pulse of infinity breathing with you. You are lying on nothing now, and yet you are completely supported. Each breath moves through you like a tide, slow, certain, forgiving. The lungs have forgotten to hurry. The chest rises as if it remembers flight. You open your eyes, or perhaps they were never closed, and the stars above shimmer like lanterns in a cathedral of night, each one a small doorway, each one a sigh caught in crystal. They flicker in patterns too old to name. They are constellations of calm, maps of resting worlds. Their light moves like slow thoughts, the kind that drift instead of speak. You begin to realize that the sky itself is breathing. Each glittering star expands, glows brighter, then softens, as if exhaling. The rhythm matches your own. Inhale, stars bloom. Exhale, they dim to silver. This is the breath that belongs to the sky. It does not belong to you, and yet you are part of it. You breathe as the night breathes, and the night breathes through you. You can feel it now, the connection between your chest and the constellations, a single line of quiet energy. When your heart beats, a distant star shivers. When a star flickers, your ribs tremble in reply. There is no separation. There is only correspondence, the slow conversation between flesh and infinity. You inhale again, and the air tastes like starlight, cool, clean, and ancient. You exhale, and it leaves you golden, weightless, made of sleep and glow. The ceiling of stars stretches endlessly overhead. It feels like home, a roof built of breathing. You could stay here forever, wrapped in this slow exchange between body and universe. The stars do not judge. They do not demand. They simply burn at their own pace. And in doing so, they teach you how to rest. Your mind drifts toward one of them, a faint blue spark pulsing alone. It seems to notice you, seems to blink in rhythm with your breath, and then you realize it is your breath. The sky has borrowed it, turned it into light. You smile in your sleep. You are part of the firmament now. You are one of the small lights, keeping watch over the dreaming earth. The river below still murmurs, but its sound has become distant, a memory of motion. Up here, everything is slower. Even thought feels like light moving through water, smooth, endless, gentle enough to never disturb the air. You breathe once more. The stars answer in kind. Together, you form a quiet rhythm, a lullaby without words, a heartbeat stretched across the cosmos. The ceiling of stars curves lower, a dome of calm, and it feels as though the sky itself is tucking you in. A final breath, long and golden. You hold it for a while, and when you release it, the entire night exhales with you. The stars blink once, twice, then stay steady, as if to say, "You may sleep now. We'll keep breathing for you." And you do. You sleep beneath the ceiling of stars, your breath one with theirs, your body a constellation of rest. The stars above hold steady, soft as candlelight through fog. They do not fade. They simply grow quieter, and somewhere between their glow and your breathing, a door appears. Not a door made of wood or stone, but of space, of possibility, of calm. You can barely see it. It is only the faint shimmer of a line, a place where the night seems to fold in on itself. The air around it is warmer, as though the universe has cupped its hands to shelter a single flame. This is the door that never closes. It has been here since before you were born. It opens every time you dream and waits patiently every time you forget. You drift toward it, not walking, not flying, simply being drawn. Your body no longer weighs anything. Your thoughts no longer cling. The current carries you gently forward, as though sleep itself is guiding you home. The doorway widens as you approach. Inside, there is no light, but also no dark, only the promise of rest so deep that even time cannot follow. You pause before crossing, and the air hums softly, a voice without words, whispering through your ribs. It tells you that this isn't an ending. It never was. On the other side of the door, there is no forgetting, no falling away. There is only returning to the place that has always waited for you. You step forward. At once, everything opens. You feel yourself expand, past the skin, past the shape, past every name you've ever answered to. You are light stretched across the horizon. You are the dream before dreaming. The stars melt into rivers of gold. The rivers melt into fields of quiet air. Everything is fluid, everything breathing together. You move through it effortlessly. Every motion you make echoes forever, and yet never disturbs the calm. It is like swimming through thought itself, smooth, endless, soundless. Here, there are no walls. There are no clocks, only door after door, each one leading deeper into rest, and yet each one stays open, waiting for you to pass again, and again, and again. You realize that the horizon itself is breathing, the faint rise and fall of night's chest. Each inhale brings stars closer. Each exhale carries them away. You are part of that rhythm now. You have always been. The door behind you remains open, its edges glowing faintly, as if to remind you that you can return any time to thought, to waking, to the smaller version of the world. But for now, you stay. You drift farther out, where dreams are wide as oceans, soft as silk, bright as memory. There are shapes here, whispers of familiar faces, echoes of forgotten laughter, the scent of something kind. They do not speak, they only welcome you, folding you gently into their light. The horizon expands again, until there is no center, no edge, no you, only the quiet certainty that you belong to this vastness. You breathe, and the horizon breathes with you. You rest, and it rests in return. The door behind you flickers once more, then stops glowing. It doesn't close. It doesn't need to. It simply becomes part of the horizon, a promise kept. You have crossed through it completely now. You are not visiting the dream. You are the dream. And the dream is infinite, a landscape of hush and heartbeat, of motion slower than time, of endless safety. The stars are gone, the sky is gone, only the feeling remains, the warmth of existence folded inward, the rhythm of the eternal breath. You float at the center of it, perfectly still, perfectly whole. And the door that never closes, waits quietly in every breath, ready to open again whenever you wish to return. But for now, there is nowhere to go. You are already home. The river widens until it becomes sky. The line between water and air dissolves. You are floating upward now, not falling, not rising, simply being lifted by stillness. The stars are waiting above, their lights steady and endless. They have no heat, only warmth, no edges, only invitation. You drift closer, and for the first time, you see how the stars are not far away at all. They live in your breathing. Every inhale draws them nearer. Every exhale scatters them softly across the dark. The sky bends overhead like a vast ceiling, curved and kind. It does not press down. It cradles. It hums a note so low, you feel it more than hear it. The pulse of infinity breathing with you. You're lying on nothing now, and yet you are completely supported. Each breath moves through you like a tide, slow, certain, forgiving. The lungs have forgotten to hurry. The chest rises as if it remembers flight. You open your eyes, or perhaps they were never closed, and the stars above shimmer like lanterns in a cathedral of night, each one a small doorway, each one a sigh caught in crystal. They flicker in patterns too old to name. They are constellations of calm, maps of resting worlds. Their light moves like slow thoughts, the kind that drift instead of speak. You begin to realize that the sky itself is breathing. Each glittering star expands, glows brighter, then softens, as if exhaling. The rhythm matches your own. Inhale, stars bloom. Exhale, they dim to silver. This is the breath that belongs to the sky. It does not belong to you, and yet you are part of it. You breathe as the night breathes, and the night breathes through you. You can feel it now, the connection between your chest and the constellations. A single line of quiet energy. When your heart beats, a distant star shivers. When a star flickers, your ribs tremble in reply. There is no separation. There is only correspondence, the slow conversation between flesh and infinity. You inhale again, and the air tastes like starlight, cool, clean, and ancient. You exhale, and it leaves you golden, weightless, made of sleep and glow. The ceiling of stars stretches endlessly overhead. It feels like home, a roof built of breathing. You could stay here forever, wrapped in this slow exchange between body and universe. The stars do not judge. They do not demand. They simply burn at their own pace. And in doing so, they teach you how to rest. Your mind drifts toward one of them, faint blue spark pulsing alone. It seems to notice you, seems to blink in rhythm with your breath, and then you realize it is your breath. The sky has borrowed it, turned it into light. You smile in your sleep. You are part of the firmament now. You are one of the small lights, keeping watch over the dreaming earth. The river below still murmurs, but its sound has become distant. a memory of motion. Up here, everything is slower. Even thought feels like light moving through water, smooth, endless, gentle enough to never disturb the air. You breathe once more. The stars answer in kind. Together, you form a quiet rhythm, a lullaby without words, a heartbeat stretched across the cosmos. The ceiling of stars curves lower, a dome of calm, and it feels as though the sky itself is tucking you in. A final breath, long and golden. You hold it for a while, and when you release it, the entire night exhales with you. The stars blink once, twice, then stay steady, as if to say, you may sleep now. We'll keep breathing for you, and you do. You sleep beneath the ceiling of stars, your breath one with theirs, your body a constellation of rest. The stars above hold steady, soft as candlelight through fog. They do not fade, they simply grow quieter, and somewhere between their glow and your breathing, a door appears. Not a door made of wood or stone, but of space, of possibility, of calm. You can barely see it. It is only the faint shimmer of a line, a place where the night seems to fold in on itself. The air around it is warmer, as though the universe has cupped its hands to shelter a single flame. This is the door that never closes. It has been here since before you were born. It opens every time you dream and waits patiently every time you forget. You drift toward it, not walking, not flying, simply being drawn. Your body no longer weighs anything. Your thoughts no longer cling. The current carries you gently forward, as though sleep itself is guiding you home. The doorway widens as you approach. Inside, there is no light, but also no dark. Only the promise of rest so deep that even time cannot follow. You pause before crossing, and the air hums softly, a voice without words whispering through your ribs. It tells you that this isn't an ending. It never was. On the other side of the door, there is no forgetting, no falling away. There is only returning to the place that has always waited for you. You step forward. At once, everything opens. You feel yourself expand, past the skin, past the shape, past every name you've ever answered to. You are light stretched across the horizon. You are the dream before dreaming. The stars melt into rivers of gold. The rivers melt into fields of quiet air. Everything is fluid, everything breathing together. You move through it effortlessly. Every motion you make echoes forever, and yet never disturbs the calm. It is like swimming through thought itself, smooth, endless, soundless. Here, there are no walls, there are no clocks, only door after door, each one leading deeper into rest, and yet each one stays open, waiting for you to pass again, and again, and again. You realize that the horizon itself is breathing, the faint rise and fall of night's chest. Each inhale brings stars closer. Each exhale carries them away. You are part of that rhythm now. You have always been. The door behind you remains open, its edges glowing faintly, as if to remind you that you can return anytime, to thought, to waking, to the smaller version of the world. But for now, you stay. You drift farther out, where dreams are wide as oceans, soft as silk, bright as memory. There are shapes here, whispers of familiar faces, echoes of forgotten laughter, the scent of something kind. They do not speak. They only welcome you, folding you gently into their light. The horizon expands again until there is no center, No edge, no you, only the quiet certainty that you belong to this vastness. You breathe, and the horizon breathes with you. You rest, and it rests in return. The door behind you flickers once more, then stops glowing. It doesn't close. It doesn't need to. It simply becomes part of the horizon. A promise kept. You have crossed through it completely now. You are not visiting the dream. You are the dream. And the dream is infinite. A landscape of hush and heartbeat, of motion slower than time, of endless safety. The stars are gone. The sky is gone. Only the feeling remains. The warmth of existence folded inward, the rhythm of the eternal breath. You float at the center of it, perfectly still, perfectly whole. And the door that never closes, waits quietly in every breath, ready to open again whenever you wish to return. But for now, there is nowhere to go. You are already home.